Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's happened again. 4 people are dead tonight, 2 students and 2 teachers after another school shooting, this time in Georgia.
The suspect, a 14-year-old student at the school who had a history of making threats. The gunfire exploded around 10:20 this morning. That's when students say the teen left algebra class, returned with an AR-15 style rifle and opened fire. Just minutes later, he surrendered to a school resource officer.
Rachel Menitoff is here with the latest on the fast-developing investigation. Rachel.
Sure, Micah, it's not clear whether or not this young man was targeting any one person, what his motivation was, and how he obtained an AR-style rifle in the first place. According to authorities, he was on the FBI's radar. He had been questioned once before regarding online threats and was previously cleared by law enforcement.
Deputies and first responders rushed to the site of a mass shooting at Appalachia High School, located about 50 miles northeast of Atlanta. Students sheltered in their classrooms and eventually filed onto the football field, fleeing a barrage of bullets unloaded by one of their fellow classmates.
We were going about our day, and then the first shot you're gonna hear is pop, pop. And then after that, our teacher went to spy out the window. It's just everybody get down.
Officials identified the teenage gunman as 14-year-old Colt Gray, who they believe opened fire at the Georgia high school, killing 2 students and 2 teachers. The victims? Students Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angelo, both just 14 years old, killed during the gunman's rampage, along with math teachers Richard Aspinwall and Christina Irimi. At least 9 other people were taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds and are expected to survive, including David Phoenix, a golf coach. His daughter Katie took to Facebook with an update. The bullet, she says, shattered her dad's hip. He underwent surgery and is stable.
So the shooter was armed, and our school resource officer engaged him. He gave up, got on the ground, and the deputy took him into custody.
At a press conference Wednesday night, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation confirmed that their teenage suspect was questioned last year about possible threats to commit a school shooting. He ultimately denied the allegations.
They conducted an investigation at that time, and there was no probable cause for arrest or to take any additional law enforcement action.
This young woman survived the shooting by hiding under a desk and reassuring her terrified friends. She believes law enforcement may have missed the signs and passed over a person intent on hurting others.
The lives that were taken here today, all the students that died, the teachers that died, all the students that had to watch their teachers or their fellow classmates die, that's the consequence of the action of not taking control where you should be.
Both presidential candidates reacted to the shooting today. Vice President Kamala Harris called for tougher gun laws. Former President Donald Trump called the gunman a sick and deranged monster.
It's just outrageous that every day in our country, in the United States of America, that parents have to send their children to school worried about whether or not their child will come home alive. It's senseless. It is. We've got to stop it. And we have to end this epidemic of gun violence in our country once and for all.
Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, "Our hearts are with the victims and loved ones of those affected by the tragic event in Winder, Georgia. These cherished children were taken from us far too soon by a sick and deranged monster." And authorities are charging the shooter, Colt Gray, with murder and expect that he'll be prosecuted as an adult.
Shalom, beloved brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike. Welcome. Thank you for being here. It is good to be here. Today is Noga, September the 6th, 2024, and it's currently 5:16 p.m. Eastern Time, pre-recorded. Great glory to the Mighty One, beloved, as you can see, and you can analyze for yourself the dilemma that 83 is facing. Of course, they're going to pull the same old card, the same thing, gun violence, as if this is being committed by all of us, or we all being affected by this. Everyone that did this, they look like all of us. There is not a specific people, a specific demographic, a specific skin color folk that are doing this. But it's all of us. It's everyone is affected. We need to stop it. No, we don't. What's happening here, it's supposed to happen. What's happening here, it's prophecy. Of course, we are going to go ahead and watch this again. All right, we're going to go into the name of the victims and why they are all 14 years old, so to speak. Why they have this news, and the people out there keep focusing on, oh well, the father's name is Colt Gray, the kid Colt Gray, the father bought him this AR-15 for his Christmas or birthday, I'm not quite sure. The father bought him this stuff, and then now they charge the father, okay? But again, beloved, before we dive into this, you must understand 83's law. Okay, this guy, this isn't the first time he said something like that. He said, I'm going to do it. He made it clear. Yet the FBI, the CIA, or one of all those surveillance or intelligence places, they don't care about that. Why? He's not black. He's not one of us. They don't give a crap. They don't care about that. Plus, he's 14. I mean, what could afford? They're 14 years old or so. They are so innocent. They don't know life. Their brains have not been developed yet. They don't know anything. They don't know the right from wrong. They don't know what, if they say they're going to shoot a school or a place or commit some mass murder and things like that, that doesn't mean they're going to do it. They are kids. Let kids be kids. Let them do what 14-year-olds do, watch videos and play video games and pulling pranks on YouTube. If one of them say, I'm going to blow up a school, he's joking because he's 14. He's not 18 yet, because the moment you turn 18, you're supposed to know everything. You're supposed to get your own house. You're supposed to know everything about life. You're supposed to be ready to go to life because you're 18. Because that's what their law said. But 14-year-old, then you don't know anything. You don't know anything. So, let's go through this and decipher what's going on here. Is this a message? Is it an angelic message? Is this something that happening and make the so-called 83s a little bit uneasy? A few days ago, an incident took place over there in Colorado. I believe it's in Denver. There were a video of what allegedly said to be a Venezuelan gang and migrant, and so to speak. They were going into an apartment, going to random apartment, busted the door and tried to get there. They had guns in their hands. And there are a few videos out there explaining, America's being taken over by gangs and stuff like that. Of course, I watched the video. A lot of 83 are moving out because they are very afraid. Now, let me say something to my people. You see, this land and others belong to us. We don't need to go anywhere. We don't need to move anywhere. The Holy One is putting a lot of people that used to be at ease in our land uneasy now. See, those guys that you saw in those videos knocking down doors and stuff like that, they are looking for people that do business with them. See, they don't just go to random place. They know damn well this is America. They can't go to random place, just knock their door and try to kick people out and take over your place and sleep there. They know if they do that, they will run to the wrong mother lover and it will blow a hole in their chest and their head and their body anywhere. See, the place that they are targeted, they have business with those people. This is a business deal. See, they let those folk here on purpose. They let them here on purpose so they could have do those things to us in the hood. But yet, all those stuff those people are doing, it's happening to them. It's happening to their people. It's happening to the so-called the suburb. See how people in the hood we good. I mean, if you want to move to Africa or anywhere because you're afraid, be my guest. But if you want my advice, I'll say, I personally, I will not be moved and I will not be dismayed. Unless the Holy One said me to move. But those things, I ain't gonna move because somebody said, oh, well, they're breaking into an apartment and try to take over our apartment. And most of our people that are watching here, especially if you're in the nation, our brothers are packing, man. Our brothers or sisters are packing. We'll stand our ground here, man. We're on our lane. You ain't gonna come in our lane and tell us to get out. Of course, this thing is not happening to us, beloved, okay? Of course, it's happening to the others and stuff like that. But nonetheless, let's go through this and watch again the name, the numbers, the signs. Oops.
It's happened again. 4 people are dead tonight, 2 students and 2 teachers after another school shooting, this time in Georgia.
The suspect, a 14-year-old student at the school who had a history of making threats. The gunfire exploded around 10:20 this morning. That's when students say the teen left algebra class, returned with an AR-15 style rifle and opened fire. Just minutes later, he surrendered to a school resource officer.
Rachel Menitoff is here with the latest on the fast-developing investigation. Rachel.
Sure, Micah, it's not clear whether or not this young man was targeting any one person, what his motivation was, and how he obtained an AR-style rifle in the first place. According to authorities, he was on the FBI's radar. He had been questioned once before regarding online threats and was previously cleared by law enforcement.
Now, why is that? Why is that? The fellow, he was making threats. They reported him. I've seen this happen all the time. Well, not me, everyone. We've seen this happen all the time. The perpetrator said, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and stuff like that. I'm going to shoot this, I'm going to shoot that. And then they quickly get to him the moment they realize he's a white guy. They realize you are not in our list, man. Do whatever you want to do. We don't give a crap. We don't care. Because he's not black. He's not one of us. I'm using the term black, beloved of us, to make this reference. He's not an Israelite. They don't care about that. You can go out there, you took out or take out either they are 83 like us or 2/3 or barely. They really don't want to take any of the 1/3. They don't want that. They actually, last time they took on 1/3 down, it did not turn out well for them. In 2020, they kneel upon a neck, one of the true chosen one, and it destabilized the entire economy. They are saying, well, the pandemic did this. No, there's a lot of damage during the protests that those businesses never came back. They don't want to do that anymore. And that was the last straw. See, the so-called FBI, they are not here to arrest guys like Colt. Well, let's get a picture of the fellow. Whoops. Colt Gray. Oh, it's not. Colt Gray. There you go. Let me get the picture right here. Okay, this one will do. All right, Mr. Colt Gray, 14-year-old, already have a mustache. This man, you're supposed to be out there, do things like men do. Well, of course, just did the thing. You go out there and blasted people. I'm talking about other stuff. Okay, those are 14-year-old. They don't know any better. You know, they are kids. You know, let children be children. Just because he says he's going to shoot his school doesn't mean he's going to do it. He's not 18 yet. Only 18-year-old or stupid or adult by law, by nature. The moment you turn 18, we gotta take you serious. But he's 14. He doesn't know anything. I mean, look at his hair. You know, he got that mustache thing going on. You know, it's like he's just a child. He don't know anything. Up until this fellow, Mr. Colt right here, murdered 4 people. And then now you guys want to try him as an adult. You see, this is the paradoxal or oxymoron of their law. See, by law, their law said you can't try if any person that are below 18 did any horrible crime. You cannot charge them as adults. If this 14-year-old boy shot and killed people, you shouldn't be charged. But seems now there's a lot of people that are below 18 that are doing terrible crime. All those school MS that happened, they were done by people that are below 18. And now they are trying to take this thing seriously. See, the whole age law, they come up with that so they can come after our boys, after our girls, after our children. See, there's no such thing as a 14-year-old kid because he haven't reached 18. He doesn't know what he's doing. His brain is not fully developed. Oh my God, he only 14. He's 16. He's 17. He's not 18 yet. If he did this, he was 18. Oh, you should have known better. You're 18 now. You shouldn't do this. Now, when this fellow was making all those threats, Mr. Colt Gray, of course, we'll go into the name. The FBI came on to him. There weren't no probable cause. They interviewed the father, I believe, and him, the family. And they left him alone. Why? Because it's not their job. If you look at this face, he doesn't look like a typical fellow that look like me or you or typical Israelite. They let him go. Because the job of the FBI, so to speak, Facebook, YouTube, or any social media is to monitor us. I can guarantee you, if you go, you ask the AI about Mr. Colt Gray, you wouldn't find jack hish on him. Yet the AI have information on us. I mean, not only me, it has information people that are watching the channel. Because that's their job. Their job is to watch you, not this guy. They don't give a crap about this dude, though he took the lives of 4 people, so to speak. They don't care about that. The AI is not watching him. They don't care about what he said, what he's doing. Yet, he's been making a lot of threat online. All his stuff are online. The FBI went to this guy. They let him go. There ain't no probable cause. Oh, really? Now, there are probable cause. Now, there is proof. Now, people want to backpedaling because the job of the FBI, CIA, or any surveillance system, their job is not to watch people like him, is to watch and try to control, harass people like us. If one day any one of us ever made a threat like this and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, they're going to come onto you, they're going to arrest you, they're going to do every single thing unto you. If any day, any time, one of us, somebody come in and say a lie and say we did this crime or we tried to attempt to do this crime or we were in a position that they felt like we did this crime, those guys will call up. Nowhere, break down our door, shoot us down, take us to jail, no questions asked. And it will have to take their sweet time to find you not guilty. That's what those guys do. Now, a man like him, they let him go because he doesn't, I mean, the guy is 14. Well, this child is 14. He doesn't look like a monster. The father was in the house, mother in the house. He lived in the upper class. You know, he go to school. He got good grades. Of course, beloved, you know the motto. Yes. Issue, mentally unstable. Yes, all of those guys, they were something mentally was wrong with them. And those people keep talking about that this is mentally that is mentally this, and yet they never have any real program out there for people that have mental issues. There are no real program out there for mental health. And mental health is not something you can discuss. Because the moment you say mental health, people think you are talking about, well, people think you have some mental issue. Yea, in the nation here, we've been working in our mental health since 2022. It's been 2 years, well, since however. For instance, I told my brothers, I told my sisters, we cannot get involved with dating yet unless we go through some form of healing, some form of self and group therapy. We have to take charge of our own mental health, just like we took charge of our own spiritual health. So we take charge of our own physical health. Yes, our mental health, we need to take charge of it. We need to sit down and talk about those things and the horrible stuff that happened and how we can move and get things going, because we can't go back to the people that did all those mental illness and nonsense and issue onto us and ask them to heal us. That's not their job. Their job is to inflict pain. They are not healers. They are abusers. So, because this fellow look like that, he poses no threat. He's a 14-year-old boy, a child. He doesn't know what to do. He's not 18 yet, so they let him go.
Deputies and first responders rushed to the site of a mass shooting at Appalachia High School, located.
Appalachia High School. Let's see. What does the word Appalachia means? What does the word Appalachia means? Oops.
Here's the definition of the, denoting one or more people or things already mentioned or assumed to be common knowledge.
There we go. Uh-oh. All right, let me see the name. The word Appalachia has multiple meanings. The Muskegon people, the Appalachia, were people from Northwest Florida. A member of the Appalachia people, a person who was a member of the Appalachia people. Oh, excuse me. The language. Well, let's see the word Appalachia. What does the word Appalachia means? I believe it means high mountain or people from the high mountain. Yes, yes. Appalachia has multiple meanings, including a region of the United States and Paleozoic landmass. A highland region of the eastern U.S. Containing, well, Appalachia means highland. The highest land or the highest mountain or people of the highland. Fact is, Appalachia, the Appalachian mountain, is the oldest mountain in the universe, so to speak. The Appalachian mountain is the oldest mountain on earth. It's the first mountain ever formed. Let me double check this. Appalachian mountain, the oldest mountain on earth. Let me see. No, the Appalachian Mountains are not the oldest mountain on earth. The Barberton Mountains are known as the Makondra Mountains in South Africa are the oldest mountain on earth, forming 3.5 billion years. Okay, let's check YouTube because everything has to be in Africa, but to my research, it was here. Appalachian Mountain, the oldest mountain on earth. I believe one of those things. Let me see.
In the tranquility of the Appalachian Mountains, an astonishing story lies hidden. A magical history about the Earth's evolution. Once, this land was also a realm of the sea. Approximately 400 million years ago, when the Tethys Sea covered the region. However, as the wheel of fortune begins to turn, the collision of the Pacific Plate with the Eurasian Plate not only reshaped the geographical features of the Americas, but also formed a distinct continental shape, unfolding the miracle of the mountains. This transformation did not happen overnight, but was a change that took millions of years. The formation of the Appalachian.
Okay, well, in the day of Peleg, that's when the Most High divided the land. He gave Ham, Shem, Japheth their land, and after that the land moved. It's not like there was some catastrophic or cataclysm that caused the land to move, because the lands are alive. Turtle Island, so to speak. Okay, how did the Appalachian Mountain? There was a great video on the way the mountain was formed, how whole is like the oldest mountain. It was there before the trees. Before anything on earth, this mountain was there. It was like the first mountain before trees, grass, and anything, mushrooms appeared. The mountain was the one who appeared first. But a lot of people, they don't put it there. But nonetheless, there we go. Nonetheless, in the day of Peleg, what they are calling Turtle Island. There we go.
Here is a map of Turtle Island, Florida, 34114.
Okay, what they are calling Turtle Island, which is the fourth part, is actually in the back of one of those giant Leviathan-like beasts. Well, the closest word they have for it, they call it a turtle. Okay? Now, for those of you, you know what? Let's take this one. It's kind of better like this. Okay? All their land rests on animals. The land can move. They can move closer. They can move further. They can go up. They can go down. That's why they're talking about, well, the sea is rising and stuff like that. No, some of the animals that those land on their back, they are diving, deeper. Okay? Tortuga Island, Haiti. All right? So those Tortuga Island, remember the Atlantean temple is in Tortuga Island. There's a reason why they call it Tortuga, okay? Tortuga is Spanish, I believe, for turtle, okay? Turtle Island. That's where they were coming to over there in Haiti. And the movie, let me try to get this first. Let's see if the AI can read it. Tortuga Island, Haiti. Okay, it won't read it.
Flights from Miami to Cap Haitian leaving October 19th and coming back October 21st start at $503.
Yeah, no.
The shortest flight is about 1 hour and 55 minutes long.
Okay.
You can choose different travel dates on your screen.
Give me some information about Tortuga Island, Haiti. Excuse me. In the movie Pirates of the Caribbean, and you have where the pirates, that's where they came in and get their gold and silver and bury their gold and silver on the island called Tortuga, okay, which is over there in Haiti. When Christopher Columbus came in, let's see if I can put this right here. When Christopher Columbus came in, he came to the Turtle Island or Tortuga Island. We keep telling people, he didn't come over here in the fourth part because he got lost. He was on a mission. He knew exactly where he was going to come, and he was funded by a bunch of people, a bunch of rich 83, a bunch of other nations. They fund this thing. It wasn't something, it was a military mission. It wasn't some form of stuff, oh, they got lost because they were looking for a land so they can worship their religion in peace. That's a bunch of lies and garbage. He came directly, he landed, he came in Haiti specifically. He passed other countries. He went as far as Cuba. When the other guy said, hey, there's the land over there, there's land. He said, nope, this is not my destination. They said, but there's land, let's get out of here. He said, nah, I ain't gonna get out of here. But the moment he get to this specific place right here, mole, oops, okay, let's see. Okay, Mall Saint Nicholas. Oh, I put S. Then I have S. Mall Saint Nicholas. Okay, Mall Saint Nicholas. That's where he landed. He landed exactly there. He went to custom and whatever, check him out. This is not a lane you cannot just, the Most High lane is not something you just pop up there and there's nobody and then you claim the lane. Nah, man, there were people there. There was a port there. There was like things there. He had a nice welcome. And then when the high priest came in and meet him and they say good morning, the first thing that come out of this dude mouth is, where is the temple? Where is the mouth of Christ? Where is the temple of Solomon? And our ancestors told him, well, you can't go to the temple. We told you this already. And he started wailing on them, killing people. He started asking them, where's the temple? Where is that? Where is this? Where is that? Man, that thing is, I should have restarted it. Okay, this is the place. This is a very spiritual, mystical place called Mont Saint Nicolas. The area that the place that you're hearing people talking about, Area 51, it's located in Haiti. The true name is Plateau Central. I talked about this before. Okay, you see this little peninsula right there? That's where Christopher Columbus landed. And then the moment he landed there, there was a port, a super advanced port. All right, he met with them and stuff. And then Mont Saint Nicolas is not too far from Tortuga Island. Excuse me. Okay, this is Tortuga Island, where the Atlantean temple is there. Okay, this is Tortuga Island, aka Turtle Island. All right, they went there. They went to the place. Okay, this is Port de Paix, which literally means Port of Peace. You know whose angel that is? The angel of peace of the nation. Write their name, and there is Cape Red, Cap Rouge, Ansa-Fouleur. My mother loved going to Ansa-Fouleur. She just loved it. Beautiful place on Ansa-Fouleur. But anyway, so Tortuga Island, okay, the Turtle Island, the so-called Christopher Columbus, all the guys that came in to get their power, Trump, Biden, Hitler, Mr. Joseph Stalin, and all the other guys, they have to come here. We told you, they have to go to the temple and make their plea. And last time when they come, the temple door was closed. The high priest told them straight up, the 400 years is over, you're done. That's why we've been adamant about this since 2019. We were making videos till 2020, till now. It's done. Okay, Tortuga Island, Turtle Island, and stuff like that. The oldest mountain, so to speak, is the Appalachia, stuff like that. But before we leave this place, let's put, I should have put something in Mont Saint Nicolas. Should I put a pin there? Let's put a pin there. Let's put a pin to Mont Saint Nicolas. So, put a pin there, just in case when we need it. Oops. I'll put the pin right here. Okay, Mont Saint Nicholas. Christopher Columbus landing pad. There we go. We're good here. And lastly, let's show you the real Area 51 where they got all those aliens. The name is Plateau Central. Plateau Central. What? Why would they put Duoche? I see, but it's a department. All right, there you go. This is the real Area 51 right there. The place that they are calling Area 51. The true Area 51. Whoops. and Lake Azui Tomaso Haiti. And they have a civilization living in this lake right there. Oh, well, where's the lake? Should be close. Here we go. That's the lake right here. Okay, this lake you see right here, this is one of the many entrances of Atlantis, all right? At night, you can see the spaceship, the UFO hubs. Is that what that is? I will put in there. Alien civilization underwater. In the 1980s, they had a mission where they sent divers dive in the lake. Since 1981, I'll say, till now, they never came back. Okay, so this lake right there, call it Lake Azui, but it's a UFO hubs. You can see them coming out of there and go to the heavens and come and go down there. And Area 51 is right there, what they are calling Plateau Central. Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, David Beckham, Elon Musk, all those guys, they're on land over there. And a hell of a lot of them, they have their, in this area, they have their bunkers there. That's where they really don't want to, the place that they are telling you they have those things like in Florida and stuff like that, no, they got, most of the stuff is right here. At least that's the information that has been passed on to us. But nonetheless, beloved, the Appalachia and all this stuff, I believe the mountain, it is said by our teacher that the ark, the Noah's ark is somewhere right there. It's somewhere in Area 51. Okay? Noah's ark is not what you thought it is. It's not that ark thing that you thought it is. It's a very super advanced the type of craft. And in the Area 51, that's where it is. That's where they found it based on what we learned. Again, don't quote me on that. I'm still studying with the masters, and that's what they say. They say it's there. That's why, they took your mind off this Area 51, which is in Nevada desert, and they said there's nothing there, just a front. They directed your image or your mind there, but everything is right here. But nonetheless, beloved, Appalachia means the people of the high mountain, the people of the high place, okay? But they don't put it in there. But my last research said that's what it means, okay? Wildcats. Let's keep on moving. Wait, hang on. How long we are into this thing right here? Whew, good grief. We're not even,
Located about 50 miles northeast of Atlanta. Students sheltered in their classrooms and eventually...
It's about 50 miles northeast of Atlanta. Of course, beloved, Atlantis. This is all about Atlantis, okay? Atlantis. We have this, okay, this where we trace this, for those of you who remember, okay, we trace it from Tortuga Island, okay, you see the connection? Tortuga to this place, they have 50 miles from Atlanta, Georgia, okay? That's why there's a huge mecca of black people in Atlanta, and they can't move them out. They try everything, okay? And Atlanta to Nova Scotia or New Scotland or New Scot, back to Tortuga Island. So this is all signs the return of Atlantis, or return of back to Atlantis, or getting our Atlantean power, so to speak, before we were called all those names. So that's one of it. All right, so let's keep on moving. Atlanta, one of the keyword.
Filed onto the football field, fleeing a barrage of bullets unloaded by one of their fellow classmates.
We were going about our day, and then
Again, beloved, out of all the students in the school, it is always somebody that look like us, or our children they put there. You know, when this thing happened, I tapped Cole Gray, you know what they keep showing to me? They keep showing this fellow, this black kid. Well, at least that's what it is. The black kid with the, is that, let's see, we can watch it.
Killing 2 students and 2 teachers. The victims, students, Mason.
Okay, with the eagle. Okay, that's the person that they show as the picture of the shooter. Every website you go, they put this child, this young man right there, they put him as the shooter when he was the victim. They didn't release, they make sure before they release the photo of the shooter, they put the picture of the victim, especially this kid. Especially him. All right, they put his face all over as if he was the shooter. You tap who's the shooter, the suspect shooter of the place, they put the photo of this. Because they have beef with whether this kid is one of us or it looks like us, but his skin color is like he did it. But he's a victim. Well, yeah, well, you know, he provoked it. He was the one who when instigated the Mr. Cold Gray was defending himself. Okay, so that's the thing that they want to show. Out of all the students in the school, they brought this young woman to say, oh, well, say those things because so black people can know that this is Jacob's trouble is happening to them. You know, not to us, though the 3 people fall, 3 out of the 4 is straight up 83. We don't know this kid, but they, you know, say things like that.
That like our teacher wants to like spy out the window. It's just like everybody get down.
Officials identified the teenage gunman as 14-year-old Colt Gray, who they believe opened fire at the Georgia high school, killing 2 students and 2 teachers. The victims, students Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angelo, both just...
Now, Mason Schermerhorn and Christian, what the hell is going on with 14-year-old today? Those guys, all of them has mustache. But anyway, so this... kid, he just celebrating his 14 years of ages or whatever. But his name is Christian. All right, his name is Christian. We really don't want to go what's the meaning of the name Christian. A Christian or somebody that the name is Christ, Christian, or Christopher, or any derivative of the word Christ is a follower of Christ, a high initiate. Being called a Christian, you're supposed to be a healer. You're supposed to be someone that where people can come to you, they can ask for advice, you can literally heal them and provide for them and bring them to the light. You're supposed to be a high-level adept magician. That's what a Christian is. See, now you people take the term Christian being some kind of good-looking, dressing people that go to church every Sunday and bind with the religion called Constantine Christian. That's not what a Christian is. A true Christian is an initiate. You could not be a follower of Christ if you weren't an initiate. Christ himself was a high level. He was a Kabbalist, so to speak. See, the Kabbalist likes the Sith Lord. You can only have 1 or 2 of them. If at any place, if there is more than around the world or the entire world, there is at least around like no more than 15. Like that 15 is me being generous. You cannot have Kabbalists are extremely the only Kabbalists that they had in the so-called the Bible, the one that we knew was Christ himself, what you're calling Jesus Christ. Okay, high level magician, that doesn't mean magic is just manipulation of energy, knowledge of all knowledge, the supreme knowledge, that's what it is. And John, not John the Baptist though, the other John that died in the island of Patmos and in prison. He was a Kabbalist. That's why he was so loved by the brother. Okay, and then Solomon was one, Isaiah was one, Samuel was one, some of the prophet, but not all of them. Kabbalist is the highest representation of the Holy One in the midst of us. And a Christian, to call yourself a Christian, you should be able to go around there and perform certain things that people will say, hey, only a demon can do this. That's what when our brother was out there doing those stuff, and they're accusing him of being a demon because they are afraid of that. You see, the so-called 83 are definitely afraid of your energy manipulation because they can't do it themselves. Okay? Christian. But he's no more. 14. The number that is after 13. You know, some building in American culture, they don't count 13 because it's an unlucky number. After 1, 11, 12, they don't have 13, they got 14. Wonder why.
14 years. old, killed during the gunman's rampage, along with math teachers Richard Aspinwall and Christina Irimi.
Okay, her name, or the other fellow name is Richard, which is another name for Michael. Is that what that is? Richard. Rick Ruler Richard. What does the name Richard means? We had this. Ruler, right? Powerful, yeah. Brave, powerful, strong ruler. Another word for Michael. All right, Richard. We had that a few weeks ago. And her name is Christina. So you got Christian Christina or Christine, another follower of Christ. But are they the true follower of Christ? Are they supposed to be the real Christian? Is that a horse over there? Look like a horse. Come on. Oh boy, it's not responding. Is it? Excuse me. Okay, this thing is not responding. Don't know. Oh, there you go. Look like a horse over there. Browns or golden? What color is this horse? Is it the black horse? Is the black judge in the midst? So this 14-year-old boy, kid that don't know anything, took out this young woman, Christina, life. This thing is just, I'm gonna have to wait for it to stop doing that. There we go. Let me take a break right quick. I don't know why everything is doing this. It's not like the computer is slow. It's just every time I'm done using it, I'm supposed to turn it off. And this thing takes forever to turn back in because it's been there since 2017, so it's 7 years. There's nothing I can do to make it fast, and I can't change. I already bought a couple other new computers, and I don't wanna change this because the software that is in there, it's unmatched. Okay. See, we won't play. Oh boy, let me try something else.
The 8K family.
Have you ever felt a deep yearning for spiritual growth but didn't know where to start? What if I told you there's a guide that can lead you through every step? Introducing the 8K Family Handbook. This comprehensive guide is your ultimate companion for spiritual empowerment, offering invaluable insights and practical steps to enhance your spiritual journey. What's inside? Perform spiritual background checks. Learn how to assess spiritual energies and protect yourself from negative influences. Connect with your guardian angel. Discover methods to establish a strong, supportive relationship with your guardian angel for guidance and protection. Develop your magical abilities. Unleash your innate magical potential with step-by-step instructions and exercises tailored for all levels. Whether you're a novice or a seasoned practitioner, the 8K Family Handbook provides the tools and knowledge you need to elevate your spiritual practice. Begin your journey to empowerment and enlightenment today. Available now on Amazon.com.
All right, so there we go. Okay, let's see if we can get the book. It's on Amazon. It's the 8K. If you have not get it yet, you get it because we will, well, if the book call onto you, we will study it. We will study the book live with the nation. Every 12 p.m. we'll do a 5 minutes prayer. And then after that, we will get the book. So the 8K Family Handbook, how to do a spiritual background check, connect with your guardian angel, and develop your magical abilities. It is essential, imperative, crucial for you to know who's your guardian angel, what's his name, what is your color. Do you know you have a special color? Do you know you have a special day that belongs to you? Do you know you got a special plant, a special flower, a special stone, in other words, a special crystal that belongs to you? Do you know what a KC is? Can you operate a quantum computer? Sorry, it's not in there. It's not in there. It's not in this edition. Okay, well, do you know those things? Do you know who's your demon? Do you know you were born with a demon? Just like you were born with a guardian angel. So-called positive, negative, you cannot separate one from the other. The moment you activate your so-called guardian angel, the other side will do the same. You need balance. See, the other side is like a pit bull. It's like a whip to put you back in place when you effed up. When you're not doing what you're supposed to do, or when you have karmic debt you refuse to pay. You don't want to pay. You don't want to go through it. Do you know how to make a fluid condenser, universal fluid condenser? Do you know how to make a personal fluid condenser? Do you know what to say when you're going to court? What kind of prayer you need to say to protect yourself when going to the court, whether you are being harassed or you're going to go against someone? Do you know what are you? Which planet, so to speak, you came from? What is your mission here? What is your gift? Who's your celestial family members? Do you even know your cosmic family? Who are they? Do you know those things? Do you know the number of your angels? Do you know the number that come with you? Do you know every one of you have a special number? Do you know what your names mean? See, we find a lot of secret by talking and deciphering names. What does yours mean? Do you know the significance of your name, and above all, the number? Do you know your magic square or your table, your magic table? Which is, if you are able to decipher your magic table, you become a god on earth. You become the God being. Why are you not striving to get those knowledge? Well, it's in this book. Let's keep on moving, beloved. There is a link in the description. Of course, there should be a link in the chart play or a pin at the top.
At least 9 other people were taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds.
Okay, 9. The number 9 is curse for them and blessing for us. Number 9, destruction for them and retribution, reparation, construction for us.
And are expected to survive, including David Phoenix, a Gulf coat.
Okay, so this fellow, you know, he got shot. He was just some dude working over there, minding his own business, and then bam.
His daughter Katie took to Facebook with an update. The bullet, she says, shattered her dad's.
Katie or Kati and David. Okay, Phoenix. Both Phoenix. We talk about Jacob's wells. Okay, Lisa, wells. We talked about the last video, the wells, the Phoenix, the birth and rebirth. That's what the Phoenix is. This is our rebirth, and this is the death. Death and rebirth.
Hip, he underwent surgery and is stable.
So the shooter was armed, and our school resource officer engaged him.
Judd Smith.
He gave up, got on the ground, and the deputy took him into custody.
At a press conference Wednesday night, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation confirmed that their teenage suspect was questioned last year about possible threats to commit a school shooting. He ultimately denied the allegations.
Of course, he's white. You come to him and say, kid, what are you doing, man? What's going on with you? We heard some rumors online, and have you been to church? Will you vote for this fellow? Oh, no, officer, I would never do anything like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's my boy. Now we got some black folk. We're going to have to go ahead and harass and do this. Whenever something have to do with us, whether we are guilty or not, you have an insane amount of law enforcement power behind it, monitoring it. In the 1980s, 1990s, they have gang task force drug task force, any whatever task force. Yet you got this so-called EBS or mass shooting going on in the school. You do not have a task force for that. You do not have an office specifically or institution created to tackle this specific issue. Not with, oh, we're going to sit there and talk and we're going to do the same thing that we did during the drug war. The drug war was the most successful war in human history. Still going on, they are still winning. Well, yeah. Excuse me. Up until now. But the drug war did exactly what it was supposed to do. Destabilize our people, destroy our family, rip the man out of the house, remove the protector, leave the mother, the woman unprotected, isolated, leave the children fatherless, leave them hopeless, and dump more drugs in the midst of them, give them terrible music and terrible advice, and make them adapt the most destructive mindset that there is, which they did. So your drug war was successful up until now. It isn't. And that's why you're striving and do everything that you can to stop it. And it ain't gonna stop. You won't be able to stop this. Yet we don't have a task to tackle this thing. They should have been able to go all around all around the United States and take down anyone that make a threat or a joke about making such threat. Taking them down, put them in prison for at least 3 years. And then after that, start the investigation. If they found guilty, put them there for life. If not, you let them go. But they're going to have to lose at least 3 years on their investigation because that's how long it takes. But you don't do this, no? Because you are the people doing that. You want me to extend my own selves? Now your hands are being forced. Let's take another video, which is pretty much the same thing. Come on. There you go.
New information is emerging about the Georgia teenager who police say opened fire at his high school yesterday. 2 students and 2 teachers were killed and at least 9 others were injured. The FBI says this suspect was on their radar. Mark Strassman has the latest from Winder, Georgia.
Students and community members left flowers and comforted one another at a memorial growing like the grief outside Appalachia High School. A shooting by a fellow student Wednesday killed 14-year-old Christian Angulo and Mason.
Okay, Christian Angulo or Angelo. Okay, Christian Mason Schemerhorn. Well, of course, Schemerhorn. Let's see what this name means. I see the word horn, which is blowing up the horn like a trumpet form of warning. But, let's see the meaning of it. What's the meaning of the name Schemerhorn? Corner, what? The surname Schemerhorn is a Dutch habitational name that comes from a place in the Schermermeer area of Northern Holland. The name means corner of the dike and the Schermerpolder. Huh. Well, I'll take, excuse me, I'll take the word horn, which means blowing up the horn. A lot of things people really don't know about the shofar. When they say blowing up the shofar, that's not what they mean. The shofar is not Well, yes, I'll leave it like this. I'll leave it like this. This is something only the students should know, and they know it. The shofar has far more important use of it. Forgive me for talking on that. All right?
In Schermerhorn, and teachers Richard Aspinwall and Christina Irami.
Okay, so you got those four, I'll say, innocent people taking lives taken away by this 14-year-old boy that don't know any better and stuff like that, okay? Name 14, number after 13, 14, 14, 39, of course, 3 plus 9, and then the new 5 plus 8, and 1 plus 5, you know what that is. The 5, 1 plus 4 equal 5. The 5-pointed star, you know who's in the mist. The 5-pointed star, you know one in the mist. 3 plus 9 equal 12, 12 tribe. 5 plus 3 equals 8, the new beginning, and things like that. Okay, both of them are math teacher and football coach. We can say here, this is analogous. Math is when you're counting, you know, what the Gentiles are counting. Time and blessing, which is over. Okay? Football, entertainment. The time of you counting or enjoying your teaching and the football, the entertainment is over.
He was very sweet and very funny and chill, you know?
Angulo's classmate is mourning the loss of her friend. She said she's also thinking about the suspect.
I just hope that the shooter finds God and that God forgives what they did.
Two school.
So, and this is the typical Christian. All right, may the shooter found God, and then the blood of Jesus will erase his sin. Can you imagine if you are the parents of Mr. Angulo and that brother fellow Shkemerhorn, and you are husband or wives of any of the other teacher or their children or friend, family, or a stranger, saying this dude will be forgiven if he give his life unto Christ. This is the typical thinking of a Christian. Any horrible crime somebody committed, may God look upon this person and say, hey, you didn't do so bad. You were 14, man. You didn't know what you were doing. Like any 14-year-old boy out there, 14-year-old girl out there, they don't know any better. You know, you're a 14-year-old man with a freaking mustache. All right, then. Let's keep on moving.
Resource officers confronted the suspect and took him into custody. Police say he was armed with an AR platform-style weapon. A chaplain who is aiding law enforcement has a message for parents.
Talk to your children. Be engaged in your children's life.
There you go. Again, look, that has nothing to do with us. Why is it that when things like that happen, the moment you find a Negro or anyone that look like us, they put it out there and make it seem that black children are the ones that are doing this?
Conversation can change a whole lot. One conversation can cost a whole lot.
Law enforcement says it did pay a visit to suspect Colt Gray and his father in May of 2023, following reports that the then 13-year-old had possibly threatened to shoot up a middle school the next day. After a tip from a user of the social media site Discord, the FBI tracked a troubling account to the Georgia teen.
So again, those guys, they will harass our people on Discord. They will harass us and YouTube. They'll hide our numbers. They're too busy watching us. The FBI is too busy monitoring what we are listening, what we are watching, what we are doing. And once they fumble upon it, well, once they find a real threat, they fumble. They went to this guy, well, there's no probable cause. What is the probable cause that you are looking for? Like, what is it? What is it? Well, the probable cause is not on our list. Oh boy. It's not in our list, it's not in our radar.
At the time, he denied posting the threats, and his father said he owned guns, but his son did not have access to them. Deputies say they cleared the case because of inconsistent information. The suspect's first court appearance is scheduled for Friday morning. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Winder, Georgia.
So he's already in court with his father, I believe. This is the next video, right? Is that what that is?
In Georgia, a new image of the 14-year-old suspect, and tonight the FBI now confirming they were tipped off about him and a possible threat to a school more than a year ago. Tonight, new video of the terror at Appalachia High School, students walking out holding their hands in the air, and the chilling image of a long gun on the floor in the hallway after the shooting. Tonight here, what we're learning about the 2 students and 2 teachers who were killed, one teacher, a math teacher, and a football coach, confronting the shooter. ABC's Faith Abube in Georgia again tonight.
Tonight, authorities arresting the father of accused school shooter, 14-year-old Colt Gray.
The GBI has arrested Colin Gray. He is charged with the following: 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. Charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon.
And tonight, outrage and anger after it was revealed the suspected shooter was investigated a little more than a year ago for an alarming threat he allegedly made, causing law enforcement to question him and his family.
Why is it not a crime? It seems the simplest thing we can do is make it a crime to threaten your fellow students.
The FBI...
Well, it's not a crime. It's not. Why is it not? Of course, they have to say the black woman. Why is it not a crime? Well, it's not a crime because look at it, the color of his skin. He got all the laws are built to protect people like him and people like you. Now, the reason why you people want this thing to be a law because the curse is switched on you now. See, back then you guys put all those laws about ages so you can come after our young boys and destroy them and try them as an adult. The white boy will be let go, but the black boys, they will be tried as adults. So now you're seeing there is an increasing number of your young white children going out there and committing a horrible crime. I want to set an example. We already told you those people don't know how to heal. They don't know how to do things to heal each other, to resolve things. They know how to add more misery, add more restriction, pushing on things. They don't know how to stop, pull back, sit back, relax. They don't know how to like, hey man, I've been hiking for a while. My feet is tired. Let me just find a little shade, a little rock, or hell, let me find a cave so I can go there like Saul did in the book and rest and feel the coolness of this cave. Feel the softness and sleep just like Saul did. Saul fell asleep inside of the cave, and David was already in that cave, and David came in and cut his cape off, cut off his skirt, and then after that he showed it to him during the battle, say, hey, I could have killed you inside of that cave, but I didn't. See, they don't know how to do those things. They only know how to punish and fight, and they're asking for more punishment. Why is it not a crime? William Philip. Will, of course, William is not a name for Michael.
Make it a crime to threaten your fellow students.
The FBI confirmed they were tipped off about the Georgia suspect in May of last year. The anonymous tips sparked by a disturbing post on the social media site Discord linked to Gray, the FBI saying he had possibly threatened to shoot up a middle school the next day. At the time, Gray was in a different school in a neighboring county. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office interviewed Gray and his father. According to their records, Gray denied making the post, saying he would never say such a thing, even in a joking manner.
There you go. There you go. The moment this young 14-year-old kid that don't know any better, I would never do anything like that. I would never say anything like that. They're like, oh, look at his eyes. Oh, he's not 18 yet. He's not a criminal yet. You know, that's like, oh, man, that's, wow. I knew it would never say things like that. Let him go.
Gray's father telling investigators there were guns in the house, but Colt did not have unsupervised access, adding that the teenager was being picked on and ridiculed at school.
I worry about him in school and, what would ever happen.
The sheriff's office urged officials in Jefferson City schools to monitor Gray, but made no arrests, citing a lack of probable cause. Gray later transferred.
A lack of probable cause. You don't need a probable cause when somebody say they're going to shoot up this school. You don't need a probable cause. You just arrest them, give them 3 years minimum. There's no need to probable cause. You give them 3 years. If they do arrest this kid, this man, last year, 2023, and 2024, he would have still been here. He would have been released in 2025. That is if he was found not guilty. And if you found guilty, you keep there forever. You don't need probable cause of what? What kind of probable? You need a plan, like, this is plan A, B here. I'm going to enter here at 7:45, at 7:14. I'm going to do this, and then take those one down, and I'm going to wear that. This is the people on my list. Peter, Jack, John, Dick, Harry, and Tom. Is that what that is? Is that the kind of... Man, let's take a break, man. Let's take a little break right quick.
The 8K family.
Have you ever felt a deep yearning for spiritual growth but didn't know where to start? What if I told you there's a guide that can lead you through every step? Introducing the 8K Family Handbook. This comprehensive guide is your ultimate companion for spiritual empowerment, offering invaluable insights and practical steps to enhance your spiritual journey. What's inside? Perform spiritual background checks. Learn how to assess spiritual energies and protect yourself from negative influences. Connect with your guardian angel. Discover methods to establish a strong, supportive relationship with your guardian angel for guidance and protection. Develop your magical abilities. Unleash your innate magical potential with step-by-step instructions and exercises tailored for all levels. Whether you're a novice or a seasoned practitioner, the 8K Family Handbook provides the tools and knowledge you need to elevate your spiritual practice. Begin your journey to empowerment and enlightenment today. Available now on Amazon.com.
All right, oops, there you go. All right, the book is there. Go get it. Do your own things. Go do your own research. Let's keep on moving.
Authorities say he brought an AR-15 style rifle to Appalachia High School Wednesday and opened fire, killing 4 people. Video showing a long gun on the ground in a hallway. Students, some with their hands in the air, led out of the school, describing the horror.
There was a second wave of shots that we heard.
There you go again. There it goes again. Out of like 5 students they show, 3 of them are black. Well, 4 of them are black. So, yeah.
They were more rapid. And so that's when we were really like, we know it was serious.
The suspect surrendering to authorities just 7 minutes after the school's newly installed panic alarm system was triggered, notifying students and staff to take cover and alerting authorities. 2 of the victims were students just 14 years old, Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angulo, seen here in a photo his family posted on a GoFundMe page, and two teachers, Christina Aramy and Richard Aspinwall, a math teacher and defensive coordinator on the football team, affectionately known as Coach A. Students say the math teacher and coach confronted the shooter. Moments later, 17-year-old Brian Maldonado heard more gunshots and saw his teacher again.
It looked like he was crawling, like he was already laying down by the time he got to our doorway. So it just looked like he was already like crawling on the way back. And once he got midway through the door, that's where he stopped.
And David, some parents tell me they have serious questions about
Faith or Abube. They have to, she's in all the channel. They have to put black folk there to say, hey, we need your vote to stop this. Set your thoughts in prayer, which our people should never say. No thoughts, no prayer, none of that. Ah, boy. None of that. Let's keep on moving.
About the shooting, but also about how the suspect was on law enforcement radar and still seemingly slipped through the cracks. He has his first court appearance tomorrow.
He's white. They don't care about that.
New details emerging tonight in that gun massacre at the high school in Georgia yesterday. A 14-year-old student now charged with murder and now charged as an adult. Colt Gray will make his first court appearance tomorrow, we're told. Police say the teenager opened fire at Appalachia High School in Winder yesterday, killing 2 students and 2 teachers and wounding 9 others on campus. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles here now with the new details about the teen's past. Darla.
Well, Bill, sources familiar with the investigation say Colt Gray was captivated by school shootings, even posting about this affinity for them on social media. They say in one post he referred to the Sandy Hook shooter in Russian. Bill, there were a litany of warning signs before yesterday's mass shootings that were all apparently missed. And this afternoon, President Biden made his first comments about the shooting.
That's on purpose.
Joyous and exciting time, absolutely shattered.
Just 1 month into the new school year and a day after a deadly shooting, mourners falling to their knees and sobbing on the campus of Appalachia High School.
Again, they have to keep on showing to you it's black people on their knees praying. And we need you to pray that Joe Biden right there.
Time, absolutely shattered. Shattered.
Just 1 month into the new school year and a day after a deadly shooting, mourners fall.
They have to show the black women there. Go pray, go pray, go pray, be on your knee, because this is our trouble too, and stuff.
Falling to their knees and sobbing on the campus of Appalachia High School. The American and school flags flying at half-staff Thursday.
I'm upset, I'm crying constantly.
There you go. Always have to involve our people in something that have nothing to do with them. Well, for those of us that are awake, we really don't care, and it's happening, man.
It's sad.
The Winder, Georgia community weeping for 53-year-old math teacher Christina Aramy, 39-year-old assistant football coach Richard Aspinwall, and 2 14-year-old students, Mason Scrimmerhorn and Kristen Angulo. The accused shooter, also 14 years old, Colt Gray, officially charged with 4 counts of felony murder today and is currently being held at the Gainesville Regional Youth Detention Center, even though he will face trial as an adult.
And sometime between the beginning of class, he gets up and leaves, I presume to go to the bathroom.
Yesterday, witnesses say Colt left his Algebra 1 class around 9:45 a.m., the doors automatically locking behind him. A classmate saw him return about 30 minutes later with a gun and refused to let him back inside. Investigators say that's when Colt turned to another classroom and opened fire. Faculty and staff quickly notifying police using a school shooter panic button newly installed last week.
You could just see him turn to my right, and then you just hear gunshots.
Investigators say Colt dropped his weapon and when encountered by responding officers and was arrested. Since then, investigators have been digging into his social media accounts, and sources tell ABC News there were a number of posts about mass school shootings and the shooters. And in May 2023, the FBI investigated a tip that Colt made online threats to shoot up a middle school in Jackson County, Georgia. He denied it, and the case file did not follow him when his family moved to neighboring Barrow County, where yesterday's mass shooting took place, killing 4 people and injuring 9. Now, Colt Gray again will appear.
Hey, another black reporter, yeah.
They're virtually in court for the first time tomorrow on the 4 felony counts of murder. More charges are expected, and the investigation is ongoing. Sade?
Yeah, Lauren, and school safety continues to spark conversations among some of the families here in the Triangle who say that it's terrifying that any day something like this could happen to their families.
For many parents in North Carolina, school safety remains top of mind. After just weeks into the new school year, a deadly school shooting in Georgia has some of them shaken up.
You want to say to your kids, it won't be real, but in the back of your mind, it could be. You never know.
Rebecca Lassiter says her 2 kids just had a lockdown drill that day in Durham County, a safety procedure that's taken seriously in today's climate when there have been 385 mass shootings so far this year.
One of my friends was actually in a drill, and the whole time she's texting me and she's scared, and we're praying for her, and it's just how is this happening?
There you go. We're scared, praying for her.
So far this year.
One of my friends was actually in a drill, and the whole time
Kenesha Myrick Bragg.
She's texting me and she's scared, and we're praying for her, and it's just how is this happening? How is this real?
Again, this is what people was. Well, how is this real? I don't understand why those things are happening. This shouldn't be happening. Or why is this that? Why is this stuff? You people are acting like everything is 2019 and gang, everything is normal. It's not normal. 2019, the 400 years is over. It says it's right here, Genesis 15 verse 13, and he said it unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. It's done from 2019, that was the last straw. Genesis 15 verse 14, and also that nation whom they shall serve without judge. That's a judgment going on here. Why people also I don't understand what's going on. I do not understand this. I do not understand that. This is confusing me. That is confusing. Why things are not the way they used to be? Well, because the blessing is done.
I couldn't imagine going to school as a child thinking that any day something like that could happen to me.
Safety concerns is one of the reasons why Kenesha Myrick Bragg says she left the classroom. The former teacher echoed other parents in the urgency to find ways to mitigate the threat of mass shootings.
I think we really have to start finding ways to be better as people and to make sure that our kids are healthy so that they don't feel that they need to go do something violent.
I think sharing and being open about our emotions, and as adults being open about our emotions to our kids as well, just shows them that they're healthy and that they are something that we need to express, and that there's also places we can express them in a healthy manner.
And the White House has called for tougher gun laws in reaction to the latest mass shooting. But while President Joe Biden says they've made significant progress, he says this crisis requires even more.
Significant progress? Yeah, whatever, man.
Now to the school shooting in Georgia. A key to stopping the gunman, a teacher using new technology built into their ID badge that sent an alert about the shooter. Investigators say the system prevented an even larger tragedy. Our Tara Molina is always investigating and found some suburban districts here use that same alert system.
This is Pleasantdale Middle School in Burr Ridge. The 4 empty desks out front, they're honoring the 4 killed in the shooting at Appalachia High School this week, where a school resource officer confronted the shooter, but technology used by staff helped call for help. It's technology that's also in place here across the Pleasantdale district for about 2 years now.
In an incident like that, seconds matter. And the sooner you lock the building down, the safer people are going to be and the fewer casualties you're going to have.
The technology is in the badges all school staff members carry with them every single day. That means everyone has the ability to call for help and trigger a lockdown. It's called Centegix, and Superintendent Dr. Dave Paulzette says it's like a wearable panic button.
They hit this button and the cavalry comes running, so it connects directly to 911.
A different number of clicks triggers a different type of alert. And you can see all school computers then show a map showing exactly where in the building the alert was triggered.
Strobes start going off, computer takeover, a tone within the building.
There you go. This is the kind of panic they are living under, because it's clearly show you they are not under the blessing anymore. They have to live under all those backward stuff and the alarm and things. They are afraid. Well, there's one simple solution. Close the schools. You did this in 2020, 2021. Best time of my life, man. Oh, God, send another one. Send another one, the permanent one. Oh, I can't wait for those people to get out of here. But anyway.
And everyone knows it's time to lock down.
It's so unfortunate that we have to think about these situations, right? And that we have to be
prepared. Her name is Victoria, okay? And then behind her, there's Jordan over there. That gives you all those black people there. You know.
To be prepared.
They just started using Centegix in Superintendent Victoria Stockton's district, Bellwood.
In situations where, like, if kid goes into an anaphylactic shock, or is having, choking on something, or having one of those medical emergencies, it's also helpful.
At the end of the day, it's about empowering everyone to keep the schools safe.
Any staff member, from the principal to the custodian to the superintendent, can call a lockdown if need be, and that saves precious minutes when we're talking about a school incident.
For more information on this technology and the districts using it right now, head to our website. Reporting in Burr Ridge, I'm Tara Molina.
Whatever.
We're learning new details about the 9th grader charged in the killing, Colt Gray.
The Fox 5 I-team has poured through public records today, trying to learn more about the accused teen. Late today, the I-team...
Again, beloved, you see, every single news we pull here, they put either a black woman or black man to say, hey, this thing affecting you, we need your prayer. Jacob Strobel right down the corner. Hey, we need your thoughts and prayer. Well, not mine.
Obtained a recording of a sheriff's office interview of Colt Gray and his father, recorded after the FBI received a tip last year about a threat to shoot up a school.
Fox 5 I-team reporter Johnny Edwards says a picture is emerging of a troubled family and, Johnny, some missed warning signs.
Right, from what we're learning, Colt Gray's home life was fraught with problems. Police reports and court records concerning his parents, Colin and Marcy Gray, reveal a broken family. Colt living with his father, his 2 younger siblings living with their mother. Marcy Gray was arrested late last year for scratching her husband's truck. Then when they arrested her, police say they found her with methamphetamines, fentanyl, and a glass pipe. She was sentenced to 46 days in jail.
46 days. I love that. Now, I love how you people should go back and those parents and dig into their past and show how vile they are. I love when something like that happened and their parents were drug addicts. Remember what you guys did during the drug war, and then the mother is strung out drug hole. The father has lost his goddamn mind. Yes, we need to put the curse is definitely in the midst of you folks. Great glory to the mighty one. Yes, that's good.
Also last year, Colt Gray and his father received a visit from Jackson County Sheriff's investigators. They were looking into an FBI tip. Apparently someone on a gaming app had threatened to shoot up a middle school. They believed Colt may have been involved. According to incident reports, the then 13-year-old told investigators he didn't make those threats. Here's a sheriff's investigator talking to Colt Gray.
I promise I will never say something like that.
So you haven't used Discord in a few months?
Oh, no.
And you're saying you didn't say anything like that?
No, the only thing I have is TikTok, but I just go around there and watch videos.
Okay.
There you go, that's it. He just said this, they let him go. Oh, this would have been one of us. They would have taken you downtown. They would have put your face all over the news, and you would have gone to jail. This is a very serious issue, man.
Told police he did have guns in the house. He said they were accessible but not loaded. He said he and his son would go hunting together. He said he wanted his son away from video games and into the outdoors. Colt even shot his first deer that year. Colin Gray also told police
there goes
his
again,
son had
the deer. Cole just shot his first deer, first blessing. And for those of you who may not know, we have quite a few videos we release. Oh, they got another school shooting again. Let's take this one. Okay. Let's take this one.
MAR 2 News at 5 begins now with breaking news.
You want to lock your children up and just keep them safe. But you can't. You have to send them to school. But it's hard.
I'm Jeff Morgan. We start with breaking news from Harford County. A 15-year-old Joppatown High School student shot and killed in the bathroom at school. The alleged shooter, another student, is in custody. WMAR 2 News' Elizabeth Worthington live outside the school tonight with the latest. Elizabeth.
Yeah, Jeff, we actually just found that out about 15 minutes ago. The Harford County Sheriff gathered reporters here near the school to provide that update that nobody wanted to hear. That shooting broke out just after 12:30 this afternoon after a fight broke out inside the boys' bathroom between the 15-year-old victim and the 16-year-old suspect. The suspect took out a gun and shot the victim once. Then the victim was carried out into the hallway where the school resource officer, the principal, and the nurse immediately came and tended to him while they waited for police. The first police officers arrived within 2 minutes. 100 more arrived within 15 minutes. During all that commotion, the suspect was able to flee the school. He was going around the neighborhood banging on people's doors, many of whom then called 911. So the sheriff credited the community with helping them catch the suspect so quickly. He will be charged as an adult. His name has not been released yet because he is a juvenile, but we could get that name later once he's charged. It's unclear if he had a previous juvenile record, but the sheriff said he was not, quote, unknown to us. He was not unknown to us. He did respond to calls for service involving the suspect before, but the sheriff declined to elaborate further on that. He also said that firearm was not recovered. He says, I have no idea where it is. All we know is that we don't have it. It could be in the school. It could have been dropped somewhere outside the school. And when the sheriff was responding to that question, he expressed his frustration with the Maryland Child Interrogation Protection Act. That prevents police from interviewing juveniles until they talk to an attorney. And he says that it's legislation that really handcuffs the police because they can't get answers to the questions that they have and that the community has as well. But the parents, they're also really fed up, and after today, they were really shaken up.
I'll tell you this. I agree with homeschooling at this point. It's dangerous. These young kids.
Again, just keep put people that look like us here. Make sure, we like, hey, we're in trouble now. According to those people, we're 13% of the population. But God dang it, man! Anytime something like that happens, we are the first to be there. It seems like we are 87% of this population.
I really don't know who to put the blame. If it's the parenting or if it's the government. You just don't know who to really blame at this point.
Yeah, because that's what it is. Somebody have to receive the blame. When Hesh was happening in the hood, we blame black people, we blame the parents, we blame their leaders, we blame their 3/5 of a human being, we blame their IQ, we blame them because they are pathologically wired like that, we blame their inhumane, we blame their monkey gene, we blame everything. But when it's happening to them, we don't know who to blame here. We don't know if the parents, the government, another school shooting.
Both from the principal and the superintendent, who said that their hearts go out to these families, and they're not sure when the school is going to reopen next week. That plan is still in flux, but they did say when they do come back to class, counseling will be available for students. In Harford County, Elizabeth Worthington, WMAR 2 News.
Okay, bro, school just started, and now we got 2 school shootings. What the hell is going on? Well, the blessing is over. The blessing is gone. I believe this is the fellow. Oh, that's the mall shooting. Yeah, school just gets started, and that's what it is. All right, let's keep on moving.
Accused of killing 2 students and 2 teachers with an AR style.
They were supposed to be working together, but instead, Sarasota police say an argument caused 2 colleagues to kill one another. Their bodies were found inside a home this morning on Lido Key. It's left the island community in shock. Fox 13's Kimberly Quizon reports officers are still trying to piece together what caused the men to turn on one another.
Tuesday morning, Sally Esther walked out her front door and found crime scene tape.
I was taking my trash out, and that's when I saw all the officers' vehicles.
Officers with the Sarasota Police Department lined the 700 block of South Boulevard of the Presidents on Lido Key. Two men, a 32-year-old and a 50-year-old, were found dead at this rental.
I found out some information and just a very, very scary answer that I got, and it's just really sad what happened.
Sarasota police say someone who had access to the home found the men around 9 this morning.
They got into some sort of argument. What it appears is that in this incident where they were arguing, they did end up taking each other's lives. So it's a very tragic situation.
Investigators say the men were co-workers and had come to the area for work.
They were not working on this house. It looks like they were possibly coming here for work, and their employer had booked them a stay here.
Surveillance video from inside and outside the home is giving investigators a look into what happened, but they say there is still more to uncover.
It would be logical to assume that they each were armed. So again, we're very early on in the investigation. We don't have both weapons.
Officers found one knife on scene, and for those who live here, it's a tragic situation they're still trying to comprehend.
I feel bad for the families. I feel bad for these two men. I feel bad that this incident had happened, especially on our quiet little Lido.
Kimberly Quizon, Fox 13 News.
As you can
The medical
see,
examiner's office has identified.
As you can see, beloved, a lot of popcorn, 83 can't stand each other, a lot of school popping off, and people try to say, well, this is Jacob Shovel. Jacob Shovel, we're about to begin, and stuff like that. No, that has nothing to do with Jacob, man. You know, it's just, it shows you that this country or the entire earth, the entire world is unstable. And the instability and the instability is in the midst of a very specific demographic. At least that's how I see it. Okay?
The accelerating land movement in Rancho Palos Verdes has homeowners worrying about the future of their properties. NBC4's Tracy Leong is live from there with insight now from an insurance broker about homes in landslide-prone areas. Tracy.
Yeah, Robert, unfortunately, home insurance policies, they do not cover damage caused by earth movement here in California. So people who live in this area, if their house starts to crumble due to a landslide, they could lose everything.
The accelerated land movement in Rancho Palos Verdes has forced hundreds of people to lose power. In the Portuguese Bend community, they've also lost gas, and now some fear the worst if they lose their homes.
Their house starts to slip away, there's a extreme likelihood they'll never be covered.
Well, that's not. Look. You got to be real. You got to be real to the people. Tell them, hey, you lost this home forever. And a lot of rain, flood, earthquakes, minor earthquakes keep happening, and the earth is moving because the earth is alive. All right, and then you folks don't belong here. This is our land, and the Holy One is sweeping you off the land. We told you this years ago. We've been telling you this. And of course, many people that are watching this are, well, thank God I don't live in California. Thank God I live in Europe, or thank God I live in New York, or Florida, or wherever. Okay, all right. Depending on which God you are thinking.
Insurance broker Scott Carter says because insurance companies do not provide coverage for damage caused by earth movement, which includes land cracking, sinking, shifting, or expanding, people will not be compensated if their home is impacted by the landslide.
As an insurance agent or an insurance broker, the last thing we want to say is, I'm sorry you're not covered.
No, and the last thing you truly want to say is that, hey man, I ain't gonna give you issue, because insurance, dog, they're not here to help you at all. Insurance are like the government. They're here to take, and then when it's time for them to give, they're like, you're not covered. That was an act of God. And the one they actually have to cover, not that much. Here's some change. Here's some change. All right.
Definitely, that is happening here.
Jill Carlton has lived in the Seaview neighborhood for 28 years. Several of her neighbors' homes have been red tagged due to the accelerated land movement in Rancho Palos Verdes. She worries about what this means for her future.
When the land is where it's moving and being destroyed, the value goes away. So yeah, we're looking at possibly losing our entire life savings.
It's all about the money. It's all about the blessing. It's all about the value. It's all about this. And our people speak like that too. A lot of our people, I value this. I'm a high value man. I make money. So therefore, those women need to be with me and stuff. Well, I'm a high maintenance woman. You need to spend money on me. It's all about the money. Nobody said that, okay, well, if this happened, but there must be a reason why it happened. Are we on sacred ground? Do we build our houses upon the land that we shouldn't have done that? Is the land blessed? Or better yet, is it cursed? Did we stole this land, or did our ancestors did something that they should have done? Because this isn't normal. This is virtually, actually, it's a sign. It's a very, very bad omen. What should we do? We're going to have to start looking those things on a spiritual level. We look at a scientific level. Well, what did they say? Oh, well, try climate change. Okay, what can we do to stop climate change? Oh, well, CO2, cutting it out, this and that. But this is a spiritual problem here. We need to do spiritual things. If something needs to be atoned for this land to be cleansed, was this land soiled? Was there a crime committed upon this land? Why the land is so angry with us? You need to ask those questions, but anyway, it's value and money and profit.
In our house.
City and county officials say they're working on plans to manage the landslides now that they're moving at an accelerated rate of nearly a foot a week in some areas. Carter says many of his clients who live in the area simply feel helpless.
It runs the gamut from acceptance to anger. In talking with a number of my insureds, many of them are resigned to what is their fate.
And this is what it is. This is what it's supposed to be. You just resign it, and you just say, you know what, F it, whatever happened, happened. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. That's it. That's all. That's what it was.
Area are damaged due to land movement. Carter still recommends they file a claim with their insurance company to have an adjuster come out and make that final determination. He also encourages people to contact their insurance companies to get clarification on their policies to see what's included and what is not covered. Reporting live in Rancho Palos Verdes, Tracy Leong, NBC4 News.
Now you see it, Brethren. Those people, they can't send their kids to school. They can't go to work. They can't stay home. Well, you can just send their children to school because there's a MS Popcorn Fest going on. If they can go to work because they're either going to get sick with that going on out there, or another son of a gun come out there with a gun and did things unto them. And they can stay home because these things are going to slide down and they might turn out to be a victim. So, yes. How long we are into this? Let's see. Here we go. Oh boy, it's gonna be 7. Boy, should I stop here? All right, well, let's keep on moving after this. Boy. Archaeologists uncover new evidence of Merlin legend in Scotland. There you go. Here we go. The village of Dromelzer border has long associated with Merlin. According to Vida Merlini Silvestris, the little Merlin of the forest, a medieval manuscript held by the British Library, Merlin was reportedly imprisoned there and buried in the banks of the Tweed in the 7th century. In 2022, a team of volunteers draw from across Scotland and led by guard archaeologists set out to investigate the archaeological roots of the local legend. So now you got those archaeologists getting involved with magic and stuff like that. Let me tell you how those archaeology things work, okay? This is how those things work. When those people came upon our land, they buried a lot of stuff. They buried a lot of things. They know the sites where they buried artifacts, they bury things, and then they make a note. They say, well, in 2017, we're going to go to that and uncover and say this is from the medieval time. In 2024, we're going to discover and say this is from Maryland. We found it. We just, because we are so smart, those things were buried, we dig them out. When they come upon this land, they kill a bunch of our dragons, okay? They bury their bones. And then they say, oh, this is the bones of an animal that is, for instance, unearth dinosaur bones. Okay. So they will kill a lot of our dragons, and then they will bury them, and then they will mass bury them, okay? And because they had huge guns, and there you go. They will send their scientists, and they were like, oh, we are digging this place that we know for millions of years. And bones do not survive for millions of years. That's not what that is. Everything that was made from the dust returned to the dust. It doesn't take that long for the bones to mingle or mix with the earth and consumed by it. Okay, so they buried those things not too long ago in the 1800s. All right, they buried them. They kill a lot of all animals and the rest of the huge dragons we had when they came here, because they use our technology to round them up, and then they cover them, and they got the sites. All right, they got the sites and all that, and every 10 or whatever years they go to a specific place and dug it out as if they found it. No, they were the one that buried them in the first place. Okay, they're like, oh, we find this perfectly skull stuff. No, you buried them like this. Okay, those dragons, so to speak, you buried them because you killed them with your huge gun, especially in the 1910s, especially with those huge guns. See this anime, Attack on Titan, Marley Army. You see, Attack on Titan is not, it's not all fiction. It's not all fiction. For those of you who watch it, I recommend. It's brutal though, very brutal. Okay, the war, the oops. See the war, that's what you guys were doing. During your World War I, II, Civil War, you were destroying our stuff, destroying our things. We were deep asleep, we didn't know any better. Okay, you guys were going out there and shooting and killing our stuff, or destroying our land, you know? World War I, Gustav gun. Oh, my favorite gun. See, this is the type of things that you used to use and shoot down our dragon, the Gustav gun, I believe. Let me see if we can get a video of it. You are not destroying each other. You are killing our people, destroying our artifacts. That's what you were doing. World War I, the Gustav gun. The Gustav gun. There you go. There we go. Okay, so this is what you guys had. You didn't have this to shoot at each other. Okay, you were killing things that were too big for you. And those were babies, the one that you were shooting with the Gustav gun.
It was 30 meters long. It weighed 1,350 tons. It had a barrel that was 30 meters long, the biggest gun ever. It could fire a massive shell over 10 scores of miles.
The Gustav is more than 6 times heavier than the K5.
And again, you did not build the Gustav gun. Those are the things you find in our armory. You put them out there and you use them saying, oh, well, we build the Gustav gun just like all those F-35, F-15, 16. You didn't build those things. You just backwardly engineering a bunch of the stuff that you don't know what they clearly do, okay? Carver, George Washington Carver, the real Nikola Tesla, gives you a bunch of those things. And now your low-level scientists, what I call the low-level magician, are doing those things. You didn't build none of that.
It's over 155 feet long and stands 4 stories tall. It fires a shell weighing 10,500 pounds. And in the spring of 1942, it becomes the biggest artillery piece ever used in combat. Capable of obliterating an enemy fort with just 6 shells. In total, it fires 300 rounds during the siege of Sevastopol.
Now, let me tell you something about those footage. 99.99% of them are AI generated. This is not what they were doing back then. Have you ever seen them? They never show you the 2 side fighting, and they just show you a bunch of random explosion, people failing and stuff, and nothing more, nothing less. They just show you things
but for
like
all
that.
its depth,
See, all those destruction were not. Those are high technology things you people were destroying during that time. That's what you were doing.
Devastating power, this supergun has major drawbacks.
It had to run on specially constructed railway tracks. So you might need a couple of thousand men to lay the railway. You needed several hundred people just to operate this gun.
Not only does it need a crew of 2,000 to make it work, it requires 3.5 days to assemble and can only fire 14 rounds a day. And it has an even bigger disadvantage.
A great big gun operating on specially laid railway tracks is visible from the air.
The Gustav is easy prey for the Allied bombers.
Okay, so again, with those airplanes, the Wright brothers did not invent the airplane. That's a bunch of lies. You didn't. We already had the airplane. You made a version of it that flying low magic. And airplanes are not flying because they are aerodynamics, no, because of the ley lines. So yes.
Within a year, the Germans are forced to stop using it.
So the Gustav gun and huge gun like this, you weren't using them to kill each other. You were using it to destroy our property and our animal. That's why you have this law. What is the military law that prohibited the use of big weapon? I forgot the name of that law. Okay, yes. International humanitarian law, IHL, prohibits the use of weapons that cause unnecessary suffering or superfluous injury, or that can have indiscriminate or excessively injurious effects. Okay, let me see which gun that they have. Certain guns you cannot use them, like I believe minigun or Gatling. There are certain weapon, explosive bullets. They have explosive bullets and all the stuff. When they use it on our people and our animals in our place, and they come out the law, they say this thing should never be used on Order 83, and they never did, because they don't have no use for it. Okay. Okay, let me see. Armed conflict. I forgot the name of it, but there is a law that say you cannot use, for instance, in the TV show Luke Cage, explosive bullet. Okay. Let Let me see if I can. If I can get the clip for you. Okay. Another student arrested for shooting threats in Polk County. Another one. Let's watch this.
Here with this deadly shooting, of course, in Georgia. We're learning more about that at this Georgia high school, especially new charges for the father of the accused teen gunman. What this has done this week is put safety yet again at top of mind for parents and teachers and law enforcement all over the country, and especially here at home when there's a threat of a shooting right now in Polk County. Fox 13's Evan Moon has more on these threats and the safety measures already in place.
Just one day after a deadly shooting at a high school in Georgia took 4 lives, another terrifying threat right here in Tampa Bay. The Polk County Sheriff saying a 16-year-old called a suicide hotline threatening to shoot up his high school in Lakeland.
We were prepared for an active shooter event.
And then they quickly arrested this guy. I'm pretty sure he's black, but they quickly get his ass. He made a threat, they quickly got him. See how things work? I'm assuming he's black.
Obviously, it doesn't fall on deaf ears or blind eyes that we had a horrible active shooter yesterday at a school in Georgia. We feared this might be a copy.
He's black because you can see his neck right there. You can see his dread or whatever it is. This is his neck. You know, the moment you black, you made a threat like this, a jerk, they quickly get you. He is the one that less likely going to commit the crime, but they quickly got him. Polk County High School student arrested for shooting threats. Quickly.
The student at George Jenkins High School now charged with multiple felonies for his false claims, including saying he had an AK-47 and was going to use it.
When we found him today at George Jenkins High School, he was in class. He's very social. He's highly intelligent. And he was on the football team. We take this very serious. Words matter.
The incident striking new fear into parents, teachers, and students just 24 hours after the tragedy at Appalachian High School in Georgia, where 2 students and 2 teachers were killed by a 14-year-old gunman.
You hear people talk about school shootings and whatnot, but then when it actually happens to you, I don't know, it feels like some weird nightmare.
Amid the safety
That's
concerns,
the thing. Most Gentiles don't like to believe it. They're like, why is those things happening to us, man? It's just weird. It's a nightmare. What is it? You know, things like that.
Florida lawmakers put into place new laws this school year mandating locked doors in classrooms and hallways and shatterproof windows.
Doors have to be locked at all times. You're never allowed to have a door propped open, like no wedges, nothing heavy, not a chair there, nothing.
She believes it's a step in the right direction, but more needs to be done to protect children in schools from active shooters.
That's right. He's black. He made a threat. They got him. They got him. Like right away. All right. Luke Cage exploding bullet. Should I say exploding bullet scene? Super bullet. There you go. That's the one. The Judas bullet. Okay.
Kevlar. Must have a South American hookup. It's heavy duty, military grade.
Nie martw się, będziesz bezpieczny. To wszystko pracuje. Idź tam stój, jeszcze dalej. Stój, dobrze. Tam.
This ain't shit. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Okay, so they got bullets like that. So if you watch Luke Cage, the Judas bullet, they got a horrible weapon like this they don't use anymore, and they forbid each other to use it on each other. But they were using those things on us. They were using them on our animals, okay? All right? 1800 dinosaur found hunting. All right, there you go. No. They got picture of those people taking pictures with what you're calling dragon. 1800 dinosaur found. Okay, well, they took a lot of them down. The super animals that dare to protect the land. That's why the Holy One say wild beasts will be their grave. They're still there. Make no mistake, they are highly intelligent. Make no mistake. Well, I can't find it, but anyway. Yeah, the great glory. Let's keep on moving.
Big story here tonight. Tourists shot in Hollywood.
And our Geo Insignaris is in Hollywood, where the search for the shooter continues.
The search is still going for whoever is behind this shooting in what's a busy part of Hollywood. Stores, bars, restaurants, lots of places for people to come in and out of. Now 2 men are recovering from that shooting. A shooting in Hollywood near Selma Avenue and Cahuenga Boulevard is currently under investigation. According to LAPD, a call of a shooting came in around midnight Thursday after 2 men were shot by another man from across the street.
Maybe 5, 6, 7 shots, ba, 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 ba.
Eric Hinckley, who works nearby, says he heard the gunshots, then jumped in to help the victims.
I ran up to see what his injuries were, and he's totally bleeding. He's on his back, and he's totally just blood puddle, just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Police say any connection between the gunman and the 2 men who were tourists from England is still under investigation. The gunman ran away from the scene. Video from shortly after the shooting shows a heavy response surrounding multiple storefronts in the area, including the Status Restaurant and Lounge. Store owners and others nearby tell us safety is not typically something they worry about. Some say they heard the chaos outside, then locked their doors and stayed inside, while others didn't find out about the shooting until the next morning. Ultimately, they say the situation seemed like a random but scary event. Both of the men hit were taken to a hospital and have not yet been identified. At last check, LAPD tells us 1 man is in stable condition, while the other's condition is unknown.
God willing, hopefully he's okay. Hopefully I get a word that he's surviving and he's all right.
The motive for this shooting is still unknown and under investigation, all while police continue to search for the suspect. Reporting in Hollywood, I'm Gio Insignaris, KCAL News.
Let's keep on moving.
We are tracking a scary situation in Southern California that's leaving people without power for the unforeseen future. Severe landslides in Rancho Palos Verdes are moving at a rate of roughly a foot per week in some areas, and it's causing major damage and big concern for residents in this coastal community. The landslide is part of the Greater Portuguese Landslide Complex. It's rapidly intensified over the past couple of years. Residents are encouraged to leave, but evacuations are not yet mandatory.
And with that being said, we do have joining us now the mayor of Rancho Palos Verdes, John Cruikshank. We thank you for joining us. This landslide, we know it has been ongoing for years at a very slow pace, but the heavy rainfall lately has accelerated this. So, Mayor, can you tell us what some of the efforts are for maybe some of the residents that are living in the area?
Well, thank you for having me. And this landslide started back in the 1950s, so it's always moved roughly 5 feet per year out there, mostly in the center part. The landslide's about 680 acres, so it's a very large area. Over the last couple of years, because of the rainfall and the amount of water out in that area, it's actually aggravated the situation to where it's now moving up to 50 feet per year. The efforts are many things. First of all, many of our residents have lost gas and electric service, so we're trying to find off-grid solutions for them. Also, we have our upcoming rainy season, and we have no idea what Mother Nature is going to do.
Yeah.
And so we want to assume that the worst.
So those are the experts. Okay, let's listen to this guy.
Right, another rainy season, so we're getting ready to prepare for that by looking at ways to make sure as little water enters the land as possible.
Yeah, Mayor, we've talked a lot about this over the last couple of years here on Fox Weather, how relentless the atmospheric rivers have been, and it's quite literally changed the landscape over on the Pacific coastline. I have to imagine, though, for your community, this must feel like a death by 1,000 cuts. It's this slow motion disaster. Folks are displaced from their homes, and they now have no clue when they might be able to get back in. So how are some of those decisions being made by the residents?
Well, I mean, I think the residents are resilient, and you're right. It does feel like a death by 1,000 cuts because there's so many things to deal with. You know, traditionally when someone thinks of a landslide, they think of a sudden act of earth just coming down and destroying homes and roads and all that. And like I mentioned, this started back in the 50s, and people were resilient. They've lived in the area, and it's moved about 5 feet per year in the worst case scenarios. In other areas, it wasn't really moving. Now the entire area is moving, and it's a lot more. And so some of the residents are fortunate enough to own other locations that they can go to, other homes, but most of them don't. Most of them want to stay and are staying. When you don't have gas or electric service, it makes it really difficult. So they've got to make decisions on, do they go out and buy generators and batteries and other things so that they can live off the grid.
And Mayor, another thing that comes top of mind when it comes to California's weather in general is the wildfire risk that we have at place. We know that with a lot of the power lines being down or even some of the power being out, talk about that risk, that added risk for brush fires across your state, please.
Right, I mean, that's another part of Mother Nature that we have an issue with. I mean, we do have quite a bit of vegetation, and that does put us in a very high fire severity zone. And so, right, that's another added danger where you have above ground power, you have gas and other things that are flammable, that you have these issues. And so brush clearance and
Yep, those are the experts. Well, the land is fighting and stuff, the threatening landslide. You have to understand the 1950s and the stuff is happening because Mother Nature, of course, is climate change. We need to take care because the experts say so. You know, you have to listen to the expert. But we know that the emergency is here. Thank you. Yeah, whatever.
First up here at 6 o'clock, students and parents are on high alert this morning after Lamar Louise Curry Middle School's principal sent out a message overnight about someone making a threat through social media. We want to get out live to NBC6's Julia Baggs. She's outside of the school over at West Kendall with the latest on what we know about this threat. Julia, that message came out overnight. What did the principal say?
Yeah, so it alerted parents to some kind of threat. It wasn't very specific, just saying it was a threat on social media. We have been speaking with a mom about her concern for sending her daughter here this morning to Lamar Louise Curry Middle School. Now, we know parents received a phone call with a recorded message from the principal here. We also have an image of what appears to be the threat in question. Now, we've blurred the image, but you can see the words at the top in a cryptic message that appears to inform readers, don't go to school tomorrow. And then it has the initials of Lamar Louise Curry Middle School. Now, as for the principal's recorded message, parents are told the school was informed of a threat made on social media and that the school immediately alerted Miami-Dade Schools police. It goes on to say officers are now investigating the incident and taking appropriate security measures. The recording even mentioned legal consequences for threats against schools, no matter how large or small those threats may be. Now, as for that mom who alerted us last night about the threat, take a listen to what she's thinking this morning.
As a parent, I'll rather deal with the school absence than lose my child because their life is priceless and nothing can bring it back.
So you're hearing those thoughts from
Again,
that mother.
Beloved, as you can see, it's all over. You know, there's no peace, man. And how are you going to bring this back to normal? Huh? How? You can't.
Sadly, we stand here today to discuss another.
This is what happened to the other school, okay? Joppa Town. Let's listen.
School shooting. I'm very thankful. This came out at 12:36 today. Our Department of Emergency Services Dispatch Center took calls for what was possibly an active shooter incident. Thankfully, that was not the case, but we did have a shooting that took place in the school. One suspect, one victim. At 12:36 again was the initial call. There was the SRO assigned to the school who was in the school who did not hear the shot as the principal, I apologize, the principal of the school also was in the school at the time, did not hear the shot, but heard the commotion that resulted from it. Both the principal and our SRO responded to the scene. Nurses, the shooting took place in a first floor men's bathroom. After the initial shooting, the suspect left the bathroom, left the school. Other individuals in the school brought the victim out into the hallway, where he was immediately attended to by nurses as part of the public school system. Within the first 2 minutes, we had our first response deputy on the scene. Within 15 minutes, more than 100 police officers were here from all of our local partner agencies, Bel Air, Aberdeen, Havre de Grace, the Maryland State Police, as well as Transportation Authority, and I know I'm going to miss somebody. Baltimore County Police sent units up into the county. ATF is here. I've received calls from other jurisdictions offering their support. The medics from Department of Emergency Services were here in a matter of minutes as well. Immediately attended to the patient, who was airlifted to a trauma center. Again, he is the victim in this shooting is a 15-year-old male who is in serious condition. Last we heard, the suspect in the case, thanks to our community members, the suspect in our case was apprehended within minutes. He's a 16-year-old student at the school. This was his first day, although we're 4 days into the school year. This was his first day in the school, and this altercation apparently took place in the bathroom that resulted in a single shot, what we believe to be a single shot being fired, which struck the victim. He went a short distance away to some houses. They also called the police, called dispatch. Information was given to.
Well, the point is, beloved, this thing is all over. There is no peace in the midst of 83s.
Developing tonight, the woman charged in a deadly crash on I-95 North near the Betsy Ross Bridge has turned herself in 6 months after the crash, where 2 people were killed. And we were there as state police took Dimple Patel into custody after she surrendered. Police say she was drunk, speeding, and driving hands-free when she hit the rear of one vehicle, causing a 4-vehicle collision. Our Kelly Rule has the new details.
According to a GoFundMe, the 2 men killed were brothers. One pulled over to help the other with his car. Now, because Patel was allegedly using hands-free driving technology, the NTSB is also investigating. With her hair covering her face, Pennsylvania State Police escort 23-year-old Dimple Patel to a police SUV. She did not speak when put into the backseat of the vehicle in handcuffs, moments after police say she turned herself in for a deadly DUI crash back in March. According to state police, Patel was driving northbound on I-95 around 71 miles per hour in her Ford Mustang Mach-E with Blue Cruise hands-free driving feature and adaptive cruise control systems activated around 3:20 a.m. on March 3rd when she struck a Hyundai on the left shoulder, partially in the left lane near the Betsy Ross Bridge. Police say the driver of the Hyundai had pulled over to help the driver of a Toyota Prius that was disabled. The crash killed those 2 drivers, 21-year-old Aktilek Bakbekov and 20-year-old Tolobek Esenbekov, seen here in a GoFundMe. The fundraiser states the 2 were brothers. A spokesperson for the NTSB says they are completing a parallel safety investigation along state police because of the use of partially automated vehicle technology. In a statement, state police said in part, the technology should not ever be left alone to perform driving tasks that are required to safely navigate the roads of the Commonwealth.
If you look at several things and fatalities in our country, drunk driving, speeding, unbelted occupants, those are 3 big ones. And none of these systems, will solve those problems. And so those are problems that we as a society really need to address.
David Ayler is the Vice President of Active Safety with the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. He said,
well, this is what happened. The blessing, of course, is over. It's done. And those people, they live this careless lifestyle, go around and party and drink and get in the car and trust technology to get them home. Doesn't work like that. Not anymore. Another plane crash.
We begin with breaking news. 2 people on board a small plane critically injured after crashing in a parking lot in Hawthorne overnight.
KTLA5's Carlos Herrera live on scene with the latest details. Carlos, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Chris and Megan. You can see this multi-agency response here this morning in Hawthorne. You can see this area blocked off and what's left of that small plane that came crashing down in this area. Just earlier this morning, we were learning the 2 people on board now hospitalized, suffering from major injuries, including severe burns. Now, according to fire officials here on scene, it appears that this small plane was heading towards Hawthorne Municipal Airport, which is about 2 miles from this location, when this plane came crashing down in the middle of the street. Take it over to some video here showing you some pictures of the burning aircraft. Authorities say it was about 12:40 this morning when the single-engine Piper Comanche plane, for an unknown reason, came crashing down here on 126th Street near Hawthorne Boulevard.
Again, unknown reason. It's the ley line. That's what it is. Of course, we went into this all the time. We don't want to go ahead and keep repeating the same thing. Again, get the book if you can. Give the mighty one great praise, great glory. Just be still. We have another video coming up linking to this video. Shalom.